We begin with breaking news out of Louisville, where emergency crews are responding to a plane crash. This is a live picture from the scene that you're seeing right now. According to UPS flight 2976 with 3 crew members on board was heading from Louisville to Honolulu just after 5 o'clock. But right now, firefighters and first responders are on the scene working to contain any flames and secure that area, as there is a shelter-in-place order for a 5-mile radius.
Monday marked a new chapter in the state of Indiana's history as former Senator and Jasper native Mike Braun was officially sworn in as the state's new governor.
Well, the Evansville Thunderbolts are officially the SPHL's President Cup champions as they just raised the cup right there. Captain Matthew Hobbs raising it for the first time in team history. And as you can see, this is a live look at the on-ice celebration happening right now inside of the Ford Center. The game, once again, went into overtime, but the Thunderbolts did come out on top 2-1 after an Aiden Litkey goal assisted by the captain himself, Matthew Hobbs, sealed the victory for our Thunderbolts.
You can continue to donate, as you mentioned, bringing in non-perishable food items, hygiene products, and more. But also on every table in the restaurant is this card right here with a QR code. You scan the QR code when you come in, and you can make a monetary donation to the food pantry directly. After the holidays and all those family gatherings, RSV cases have soared at a rapid pace. Owensboro Health is one of the hospitals in the tri-state experiencing the rise, and they say it's concerning.
A nuisance 6, an Evansville woman will serve time in federal prison for embezzling more than $500,000 from her employer over the span of 15 years. Now, federal officials say Rebecca Willis will serve 2 years, followed by 3 years of supervised release after pleading guilty to 8 counts of wire fraud. New tonight, with 42 days until Election Day, the race to the White House is in a deadlock, according to polls. The latest poll shows Vice President Kamala Harris narrowly holds a national lead in swing states. But before we dig deeper into the presidential race and what candidates are doing in the battleground states, we are first going to take a look at a much-anticipated race in Owensboro. Tonight, candidates running for commissioner seats took to the stage to address voter concerns.
Hockey is for everyone. Hockey Heroes is hosting its inaugural event to help kids with special abilities pick up the game of hockey.
Well, Claire, it was certainly a historic day here in sports for Evansville as the final competitive races were held at Angel Mounds, marking the end of an era for this iconic cross-country course. Now, the event featured a women's 6K race and a men's 10K race with top runners from universities including Indiana, Purdue, Butler, Michigan, Notre Dame, even Michigan State, all competing for a spot at the national championships. Tonight, if you're a parent of a child of a certain age, the new dictionary.com word of the year will probably sound familiar to you. It is the slang phrase 6'7". And whether you love it or hate it, the very popular phrase 6'7" seems to be everywhere, from TikTok to television. But still nobody really knows what it actually means. That's right, Claire. The Kentucky Department of Transportation met up with different lawmakers today to provide that update on the I-69 bridge project. Now, some of those names in town included Congressman Andy Barr and Mark Messmer, Senator Todd Young, and Indiana Governor Mike Braun. Now, the leaders also took a tour of the current construction site for both Section 1 and Section 3 of the project. Section 1 includes the approach work into Henderson. Construction started back in the fall of 2022 and will be complete late this year. And you kind of touched on it a bit, obviously all great tips there, but going back to those power outages that are likely to happen, in that case that it does, what should residents do then?
The Evansville Police Department has been piecing together information involving this deadly shooting just over the last 24 hours. And now they have their suspect, Christopher Boyd Jr.
Well, many agencies are working hard during this winter storm, responding to emergencies and just doing what they can to help keep you and your family safe. And joining us now is Vanderbilt County Sheriff Noah Robinson. Sheriff, how's the last 20 to 24 hours been for the deputies and yourself? Late breaking at this hour, 2 separate fires broke out in Evansville today, both happening just minutes apart from each other. The first call came in at 11:55 for a mobile home fire on Underhill Court. And then just 3 minutes later, another fire was reported on Keller Street. Turning to weather now, just a gray, gloomy day all across the tri-state, but at least there was no rain. But unfortunately, though, Storm Team 44 meteorologist Jonathan Weaver is tracking plenty of rain ahead for us as this week continues on. Jonathan?
You're right, 1 to 2 inches of rain. It's coming on back.
Chills Patriots finished their season 14-1, avenging that state loss from last year. An absolutely dominant team all season long, and they cap it off with that state championship title. And it was very fun to watch them and cover them all season long. You could tell this team was destined for that state championship. From all of us, big congratulations to the Heritage Hills Patriots. Reporting in Lucas Oil Stadium, Ben Thomas, 44 News. Well, Claire, it's packed like always down here at the Westside Nut Club Fall Festival. Obviously getting some food, going on the carnival rides. Everybody just enjoying, like Jonathan mentioned, the absolutely beautiful weather out here this week, as you should. I know I'm enjoying it. And joining me now from the Westside Nut Club is Brandon McLeish. Brandon, how you doing today?
I am great. This is my favorite day. The Tuesday of Fall Festival is always a Westside Nut Clubber's favorite day, by far.
And in terms of the shirt you're wearing, the jersey, a very cool jersey I may add, that's one of the events that's going on today.
Yeah, so today is Special Kids Day. So this morning we had over 500 kids from EVSC, Warwick County, all surrounding counties come and have their day at the park, have their day with the rides, have their day and playing all the games. We gave them lunch, everything. So this shirt is for autism. So it was Special Needs Day. It was incredible. Todd Helfert was our chair this year, did a fantastic job.
Sounds very fun. And obviously, we talked about this weather. Can you remember a time when the weather was just this perfect all week at the Fall Festival?
No, it's been numerous years. I'm a more of the chilly type of person, and being able to wear shorts and a hoodie, and now we're actually in that type of weather because in years past we've had so much heat, which is great, you know, as long as we don't get rain, but this is perfect.
Winter has arrived, and that means once those temperatures start to drop, snow and ice are going to start covering those roadways. Now, if you don't have the proper tires or are not prepared for those conditions, it could lead to crashes or you spinning off the road.
Everything you know, especially, again, changing that driving mode from summertime to wintertime is a complete 180 in a lot of ways.
When sitting behind the wheel on bad road conditions, there are ways that you can stay safe and avoid a hazard.
If you can travel during the daylight hours, that's ideal. So that thermal heat from the sun can help break that ice up. But if you're going into shady areas that very seldom sees the sunlight, be mindful. It may be clear for a good stretch, but all of a sudden now you're going into a curve where it hasn't, and now you're hitting black ice again.
Make sure your tires have the most traction possible and are relatively new. When turning, take turns slowly and don't slam on the brakes. Now, if you begin to spin out, the best thing you can do is to not panic. Just gently turn the wheel the other way to even your car out.
Be slow at the brake, but also slow in accelerating too. If you are in a slide, you want off the brake, off the accelerator, and steer the nose of the vehicle in the direction you want it to go. So in an event, you take an evasive maneuver, you want off the brake and then steer the vehicle out of that slide or that possible wreck that you could be in.
When there is snow on the roads, you should drive in the path of the car ahead of you, plus keep a good distance away in case you have to stop.
You want that contact patch of your tire making contact with something like the road. Now, if you have a barrier, whether it be ice or snow, packed between that, now you're losing that ability, at least with that stopping distance that you need. So by following somebody else's path, now you're at least down to the bottom to where you're able to get your tire have enough bite to grab and give you that traction you need.
Lastly, make sure you know ahead of time the conditions you are driving in.
The pre-trip, what do we do to take those precautions before we go? Know the conditions before you embark on your journey. And the way you can do that is go to goky.ky.gov to find out not only the travel conditions at that time, but also what's the travel conditions going to be like when you return home. Well, if you were to go to work and it's one way, it very well can change within 6 to 8 hours.
Remember, if you don't absolutely have to go out, don't. But if you do, make sure to find someone who has experience or is confident driving in these conditions. Reporting in Owensboro, Ben Thomas, 44 News.